Hello, back again for probably one of the last videos I'm going to be doing of the board. Spent all yesterday just getting the final bits done. Crystals finally turned up, which was a bonus. I got a lot more than I expected as well. But yeah, all in all, I'd say it's turning out pretty good actually. I've got the board on the floor. I'll take it down there in a second to have a look at what I've done. I spent probably the best part of 2.5 hours fitting LEDs into it. I originally put a set of green ones in that I had knocking about, but the string was too short, so I was still missing 2 LEDs essentially to light up 2 areas that I'd already drilled out holes for. So I ended up having to change them to a different set which had more LEDs and a little bit longer. Not what I wanted to do ideally, because it's a bit of a darker green, but I think it turned out okay. Yeah, I'll show you the board. What I did was I was looking online and I put a couple of posts up on YouTube and Facebook and what have you, asking for recommendations for crystals, and I had a lot of people messaging me with, they'll cast me some clear resin crystals and this, that and the other, but they all looked too uniform. They didn't look natural enough. So what I did was I went onto eBay and I found quartz crystals, which are these. So they're just chunks of real quartz, roughly cut and polished. They come in a little bag. I got 200 grams for about £5. And yeah, I think they kind of fulfilled the need that I had for real crystals. And obviously they come in different shapes, different sizes. There's some that have got blemishes, some that haven't. They're alright actually. What I did was drill through the board using a pin drill, because obviously when I built this I went over it with plaster. It's got 2 layers of PVA, it's got sand, so it's quite hard. So I had to drill through from the top first, so that if I drilled through the bottom first I would just punctured a hole and probably ripped half the plaster off, which would have been more hassle than it's worth really. Steered clear of all these areas that I put large bits of polystyrene on, but drilled straight through, went underneath, which I'll show you in a second, cored out kind of a tube essentially, probably a paintbrush's width, shoved that up through it, elongated the hole at the top, then put the LED through. But I made sure the LED was flush with the surface, because if you had it probably a mil or two below the surface, it would just beam up straight, so it wouldn't actually hit all the crystals. So what I did was put it flush, so I was a little tiny bit above, glued all the crystals down, and then that sticks the LED to the crystals, securing the LED in place and also securing the crystals, which was quite good. I've done a few patches. I didn't want to go too overboard, so I did one patch there, got one here. These are just to fill up areas that won't be getting used, because obviously the Cryptek goes here, Destroy's on top of there, so there's nothing going to be here. So I thought, nice little focal point. I put patch of 3 here, so that didn't be in between all the warriors, so I give them a nice little green glow. There was an empty patch here, so I used quite a large crystal over here. I'm going to focus us for this bit. Crystal down there as well. So I'll just show you the underside. I will have to put this down a second, hang on. Okay, so this is how the underside looks currently. So what I've done is I've actually gone over this with masking tape just to hold all the wires in place, but if I peel this back a bit you can see what I've done is straight through the middle. I've embedded all the wires as well, so it's just a little bit more neater and it doesn't make the board wobble or anything. But what I'll do is I've just got these just ordinary string lights I got from Poundland probably a good 2 years ago. Nothing flashy, just 2 AA batteries. I cored out a piece of the styrene to fit it in. I'll switch it on, and as you can see, I couldn't place anywhere, so I've just buried them into the polystyrene. And this is what it looks like when they are turned on. So obviously I'll look a bit brighter with the camera, because the camera like very strangely, but didn't want to go too overboard with crystals and pepper the entire board and take the focus off the actual models, but it just adds that little extra something to the board really to get people interested. That way if people see it from a distance, be like, oh, I'm going to have a look at that, and I'll have a look. I put LEDs inside of these little pylon things as well that I built, so they've got like an ominous green glow coming out of them. Crystal there, crystal there. It does look obviously a lot better through the human eye than it does through the camera, because it's a lot brighter than it's supposed to be through the camera, but yeah. I will put some pictures up at the end of the video of what the board looks like with all the models put on it, because I can't be bothered to put them on there again. It took me 20 minutes to do it yesterday, but so the LEDs that I did put in there, they were a slightly different green to this. So when I did actually put the second string in, it will look different. And obviously I didn't want that, but so I think they turned out quite well really. But yeah, I've added a couple of extra bits of coat hanger as well. The jet bikes. Oh, hang on. Include a few jet bikes just at the back here. It's a part of my army, so you know, I thought I'd just include a few. Currently going to be making another 5 of these. These are my Necron objective markers. Once it focuses. Resurrection orbs. So this one's got 6 on it. I'm going to do 1 through to 5, just to scatter them out on the board. But so I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. I just need to do a few little details on these just to make them look a little bit better. Paint these bits here green. Do some black on the top as well. I don't want to weather them because obviously my Necrons are quite bright silver still, as you saw in the last video. But yeah, so this is pretty much done now. I'm happy with the way it's turned out. Turned up. I did email the company like 3 times to ask them as to what type of crystals they are, how many crystals you get in a bag, and they just kept saying, you get crystals in a bag. I'm like, well, that's helpful. So just took a punt on it really. Could have gone from China a bit cheaper, but they wouldn't have turned up till next month, which is obviously not very good. And yeah, so I've done a bit more weathering onto the waste pipe as well. So I'll probably do a little scarab popping out of there, or a dead body or something in there. Still need to get a few skulls just to dot around the place, but yeah, all the board done. So I'll see you back up on the desk. Yeah, just a few more details really. Yeah, I'm pretty much happy with it really. It's a fun little project to do. So I can always reuse the board if I ever go into a Throne of Skulls event or something at Warhammer World. I can always take that as a display board to put my army on when they do best painted and what have you. So I don't think I'll win, but it's worth a pop. I will be obviously using it again at some point, which would be, I'm not just going to chuck out. I've spent probably the best part of 200 hours on this army and board over the last month and a half-ish. Super busy with commissions at the minute as well, so I'm having to spend a lot of my time. I do a lot of my time anyway doing commissions, obviously because it's my day job, but in between, when I can get, like, if say I had to go out, I don't know, like yesterday I went to get my hair cut, by the time I got back it was lunchtime, so rather than me starting on a commission and not being able to finish it, I just kind of just cracked on my board to get that out of the way. But yeah, I'm pretty much happy with how it's going really. So yeah, I'll probably see you in another video when I've got everything completely finished, 100%. Just got these bikes to finish, then I'll do an army overview of everything I've painted, which is gonna look pretty good. I've only got a flyer to do after that, but I'm not really fast. And then I will start getting on bat reps really, because once my time's freed up from doing this a little bit, then I can start work on my Golden Demon entries for next year, which I'll probably do a separate video on as well, like what I'm going to be using and taking, because I'm entering, I think, about 8 categories. I'm just going to spam the entire competition with my stuff and hope for the best, really. So I spent, well, when I went this year, I spent 50 hours on one model, didn't get a single pin, picture, anything. That was probably one of the best models I ever did. Entered a Gandalf, which took me less than half a day to paint, and I ended up coming away with a finalist pin. So, you know, people seem to be saying the same as well. They've spent loads and loads of time doing models and they come away with nothing, but the models they painted in an afternoon having fun ended up coming away with finalist pins, pictures, recommendations and stuff like that, and commendations. But so I just got, obviously, these few little details, like the little objective marker bases and stuff. I just got them to do. The little balls are actually made from BB gun pellets that I had laying around. So yeah, but once they're done, then I'm calling it a day on them, and then I'll be doing army vlog on a Morannon army that I'm going to be using. I couldn't unfortunately get a Throne of Skulls this year for the Lord of the Rings, because it was near, this is pretty much like mid-December, so it was too close to Christmas for me, and obviously with family and stuff I can't afford to do that. So what I'm doing that one next year, and I'm going to be using my Morannon army, so I'm going to be doing that up to a display grade army, basically, all on resin bases from Generation Shift. I'm going to be converting a lot of models as well. I've got my Nazgul up there as well, my Witch King. He'll be heavily converted as well, so he's going to have a nice, really cool resin base. He's going to have, obviously I'll do the co-hanger trick as well for him to be on a flying base, a lot more sturdy. And then, yeah, so I think that's probably on my next list of things to do. I'm going to do a Morannon hobby vlog. Then I'm going to do, I don't know, there's a couple of hobby vlogs I want to do, really, but I want to do my Haradrim, but not really too fussed at them. And I've got a Sigma army that I kind of want to get done as well, and I might do some painting videos on Warcry, which is over there as well, because I want to really get them kind of up and running so I can start doing bat reps. But obviously at the moment I've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm in business meetings pretty much on a weekly basis now, trying to get a gaming club together and what have you, and trying to kind of build a business out of this, really. And I want to get a shop eventually, but that's enough rambling, I suppose. But yeah, so I'm going to get these done over the next few days. They won't take long to do. These are just going to get a basic paint job, so a bit of gold here, a bit of gold there, a bit of black, wash them, done. I'm only putting 3 on the board, so the other 3 are just going to get put over on the shelf. But that's actually going to be my first properly painted 40k army that I've ever had. So they were painted before, but they were literally looked like they'd just been thrown through a paint factory. I was about 16, 17, I think, at the time when I painted them, so it was just silver. I didn't even have null oil back then or any specific washes, so it was actually drawing ink that I used to use, watered down with methylated spirits. But I'm really excited for Armies on Parade. It's going to be interesting. I haven't entered for 3 years, and obviously the people now that go down to the store, their models are bloody good. You know, so I'm kind of jumping into these things at the wrong time, really. If I would have entered a couple of years ago, I'd probably come away with a couple of golds, but at the same time, I think my painting and my building skills have improved a lot over 3 years, so yeah, to get these done, and I shall see you in another video. So happy hobbying, guys, and I'll catch you later.